Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to the MX Simulator official track gameplay round number 12 of the 2018 Moto Option Supercross Series / Monster Energy Supercross Series from Indy. It's Moto Option if you play it in sim, it's Monster if you race it in real life. But yeah, Indianapolis, Indiana, Lucas Oil Stadium. And you guys have already seen me play this track on Monster Energy Supercross the game, but now you're going to see me play it on sim and probably do it very, very poorly, because if you remember from my last video that I did, which was on St. Louis, I was using a controller that was disconnecting, reconnecting a lot. It was having a lot of issues, and I talked a little bit about how I have a new controller that I'm just not as comfortable with on. Like, the stick is a little bit kind of like sticky, and I don't know, like I haven't really felt like I've gotten used to it yet. So this has been the switch over. I am now using this new controller with the weird stick that I'm not as comfortable with, and just kind of winging it. This might be just as bad as last week in terms of seeing a video that isn't as awesome, I would say, but we'll see how she goes, and hopefully I'll entertain you guys. But yeah, Indianapolis, pretty straightforward track this week, other than the first corner being like a, not like a full 90 into, I mean, what would you call that? Like a 75-degree turn into a 180, and then a 75-degree turn the opposite direction. Like, it's a really tight first turn complex. And I feel like in some sense that's actually going to be kind of gnarly this weekend, just because like everybody's going to have to really funnel in real quick to get through that whole section. So that's going to be, I think, pretty interesting to watch in my opinion. But the rest of the track, like I said, is pretty straightforward, just back and forth 180 bowl corners. They got this little like dragon's back raised whoop section after the finish. I don't know if that officially will be on the track or not, but obviously it's on the blueprints, so that's why it was built in sim. And you might be wondering, if you're watching this pretty much right after this video came out, why is it out on why am I releasing this video on a Thursday night, as opposed to just, you know, during the day when I normally release my videos and try to keep them fairly normal? Well, MX vs. ATV All Out is coming out tonight, so I'm getting hyped on that. And I know for a fact that if I wait until MX vs. ATV All Out comes out, I will not do this video this week of the official track gameplay thing, because I would just be too busy playing All Out, just being honest here. So you're gonna get a load, like I'm just gonna absolutely like flood your guys' feeds on YouTube tomorrow with, or tonight really, but then into tomorrow with MX vs. ATV All Out gameplay. So expect a lot of that. I'll be live streaming it tomorrow afternoon, so you know, if you're wanting to see more of it, I will definitely be showing it off. But wanted to get this video kind of completed out of the way, whatever, before we got to that point. So anyway, yeah, what else can I talk about with this track? This first section in sim, most people ended up going inside and doing the line that I have been doing at the start of this video for the most part, which is like double and then triple over the table and then triple double into the corner. You can go double into the corner from the inside, like double around the inside of the corner, and then quad out. But it is a huck, and definitely only 450s can do it. And if you swing wide, you can triple on off, but it doesn't really set you up for anything great unless you can then again quad out right there too, which you can do. You can quad out of the rhythm section if you go 3 on off, but it is still a pretty big huck. I would care to wager that 250Fs would struggle doing that, but obviously I'm not 100% sold that that's the case, because I haven't tried it on a 250F and I never saw a 250F rider do it last night. So I will try to do it this next lap by, just to show it off. But other than that, I mean, that rhythm section, that's pretty much the only line you can hit. Tripling in is absolutely useless. I was thinking in my brain that you could maybe triple in and then quad and quad out, but the triple in is such a huck. Like, oh my god, I hate this controller. Freaking come into the corner, oh, front end knives, cool. But yeah, I don't really see that as being a possibility. We saw last night, once that inside line had developed enough in sim, that a couple guys were able to triple in. Namely, I think it was Mitchell triple in, to the rhythm section from the inside, but again, I just don't know where he would go from there. And the Supercross triple ended up being kind of treacherous for guys. They were OJing it a lot, going down. I have a road on 10, so it's really not that steep, but you can see that the track's getting pretty gnarly pretty quick. The MXS EMF track crew did some changes to the road setting on the track this week, so if you do play it with a road, just be mindful that it'll get pretty froggy pretty quick. Yeah, let me try to bang out that rhythm section, then I'm going to talk about some real life moto as I go from here. So yeah, the shootout this weekend should be pretty interesting. I offered my brief thoughts and opinions on it in the Monster Energy Supercross video, but divulging a little bit further, I'm going to be on the Eli Tomac is going to win every week until the end of the season train, just because when he has a race like he had at St. Louis, like I just look at that and I'm like, who's going to beat that? Like, even anybody in this field on their best day is not going to beat that. So, like, what are they going to do to take Tomac down? I just don't see anything that they can do different, except for if he turns into, you know, like head case Tomac again, where he crashes and does weird stuff. Like, even at Daytona, yeah, he had a crash, but he came so far through the field and he nearly won the race regardless of his crash. So I think he's finally hit that like mid-season form where he's just on it. Like, every weekend he comes in, knows he can win, should win, etc., etc. Oh my gosh, I freaking suck on this track. So I mean, I got Tomac winning this weekend. I know I picked Anderson last weekend, and he didn't disappoint me. I mean, he rode well. He finished second. He extended his points lead on Marvin, so that's, you know, everything he was probably hoping for, except for a win last weekend. But I can't pick anybody else. Like, Tomac is just, he's too good right now. So I got Tomac. I mean, this 450 class is probably going to be a bit of a snoozer as the season progresses, because as you can tell, it seems like Anderson's gone a little bit into championship mode at this point, which he should. So I agree with the move. And Marvin is too far back to do anything about Anderson. Even if he wins out, it doesn't matter. So what's the point? Kind of like, and Tomac is way too far back, and he's going to win out no problem. If anything, the thing that could be watched this weekend that's noteworthy is if Tomac does win this weekend, he will tie Damon Bradshaw for the most career victories without a Supercross title record, which again I talked about a little bit in the Monster Energy Supercross video. Let me try to get this quad. I clipped. Damn. He'll tie Bradshaw, and like that's kind of crazy to me. Like, if you really sit back and think about it, Tomac. So technically speaking, because his first, you know, Supercross season was 2014, although he was injured for pretty much more than half of it. But this is his 5th year of Supercross. So if you backdate that, that means that he averaged, at the moment, about 4 wins every Supercross season. But obviously, a majority of that has come within the last 2 years, because he didn't win his first until late 2015, and he only won 2. And then in 2016, it was his first year with Cowie, right? And I don't remember him doing that well that year. So most of them have been last year and this year, and he's already almost at 20. I mean, Ryan Dungey, I think, only has 34, 35 maybe in his career, and he's won 4 championships. So like, it's really ridiculous to me, at least, that Tomac has as many wins as he has already, and he doesn't have a championship. Like, I think everybody that is ahead of him in the wins column already had their first championship by the time they got to where Tomac is. I'm trying to think if anybody would stand out as not having, like, I talked about Stewart a little bit, but he'd already won. He won his first title in 2007, officially, his first AMA Supercross title, because he won, what did he win, the world title in 06, but it wasn't the, like, official series. It was like that weird, like, side FIM sanctioned series that they raced those 2 rounds in Canada with. But Ricky won the actual Supercross title in 2006. So theoretically speaking, James went about 3 full seasons before wrapping up his first title. I'm trying to remember what race he wrapped up in 2007. I think it was the second to last round, but he won most of 2007. He'd won a lot in 2006. I guess maybe he could have gotten past 20 wins before winning his first title, but I don't know. I mean, I think it would have been close. I'd have to go back and research it. But Stewart would be probably the only one that crosses my mind, is that, well, maybe Reed too, because Reed won, nah, that couldn't be possible either. Reed won 7 races in 2003, and then won 12 or 11 in 2004. So he almost got to 19 before winning his 04 title. And then Ricky would have won, he won Daytona in 2000. Then he won 14 races to win the 2001 title, so he got to 15 wins before his first title. Like I said, like, it's just all these guys, they, by the time they got on a point where they were consistently winning and doing it pretty much no problem, they were also destroying the rest of the field week in and week out. Like, not only were they winning a lot, they were consistently winning, pulling huge points leads, decimating the field, etc., and then claiming a title. Tomac is win, 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 DNF, win, win, DNF, and like all this weird stuff, which is kind of comparable to Stu in some sense. But like, Stewart would, if he DNF'd a race, which honestly was kind of rare too, like if he crashed, he would still get up and at least finish like second or third most of the time. But if he DNF'd, he would follow it up with like 5 consecutive wins, which is just not what Tomac has done. Like this year, even DNF San Diego, and then what did he do? He won Dallas, got 3rd at Tampa, or no, he won Tampa too, didn't he? I guess, I don't know. I'm just so confused. Like, I'm just baffled by this whole Tomac situation this year, because at least in my opinion, he's clearly the best, like the fastest rider, but he's not the best rider because he's not putting it all together for the whole season. So yeah, I guess I'm just kind of at a loss, a mental loss on my own end here for Tomac. But talking about this 250 East-West Showdown, which I have to talk about, of course, because this is going to be probably the craziest race of the year, to be honest with you, given that this 450 class has been a touch boring and there's been some weird things going on there. So this 250 East-West Showdown, because they're still in the midst of their championship, like last year, the East-West Showdown in Vegas was epic for the East Series, but the West Championship, Hill had already wrapped it up, so it was kind of lackluster for the sense that the West guys had nothing to fight for. Now both series, they're both pretty close championship-wise. There's like 3 or 4 guys in each, well, definitely like 4 guys in the West Coast that think they could still win this championship, and I would bet that 3 guys still think they could win the East. So there's going to be a lot to play for this weekend. There's like 7 guys going into this weekend that are all thinking, oh man, I could get so many points towards my championship this weekend with a win or on the podium even, because it's so chaotic. Like, you know, we could even have a situation where Plessinger, who's entering as the West points leader, gets a bad start and then struggles to get through the field based on the field being twice as deep, and maybe he only ends up 9th, you know, like that's really like a possibility given the circumstances of this weekend. So it's just going to, in general, be such a crazy weekend for the 250 guys. We're going to see guys missing the main event that should probably easily make it into 250 main events. But I think that race up front is going to be epic. I honestly don't know who's going to win. I personally believe, because of the way that Indy can break down and have some kind of loose dirt and stuff like that, that if he even starts in the top, I'll just give it top 10. If Plessinger starts in the top 10, I think he wins. He's good at Indy. I think he even won 2 years ago when he raced Indy here. I'm trying to remember, but I don't know. I think that this could be a Plessinger type track. It gets deep, it gets rutted, gnarly, etc. So I could see Plessinger maybe knocking off a win. Cianciarulo looked really fired up at San Diego. I could see him winning. I don't see Hill winning just because he's got the broken toes. I think he's going to need to, you know, a little bit more time to recover and get 100%. Savachi should be closer to 100% after his whole injury at Glendale and then his hand injury at San Diego. He should be back to like full song hopefully this weekend, so he could win. And then of course we have Osborne, who was the fastest guy on the track the past 2 weeks in the 250 class. Just won the last round. Faulkner's obviously super fired up, and like suddenly Jeremy Martin looks good again, and Jordan Smith wants to keep his title hopes alive. Like, there's so many wild cards this weekend. Like, you really can't just say, oh yeah, these 3 guys are gonna land on the podium. There was a time where, like, you know, there was years and years where Pro Circuit Kawasaki had all the best guys, so you'd be like, yep, they're gonna go 1-2. Like the year that Townley and Villapoto won their championships. Like, I wouldn't say Townley was the best guy, but he was the best East guy, and obviously won the title there. And when he was up on 2 wheels, he was the fastest East guy, and Villapoto was the fastest West guy. Like, that's just how it was. So long gone are those days. I feel like we don't have like a clear-cut favorite in either class right now, and I think this is going to be an epic race. I hope it turns into an epic race for the win and not just like guys battling for 4th, 5th, etc. Like, I hope there's like 3 or 4 guys that actually get good starts, battle for the win. Oh man, I don't know. Like, in general, I'm just so excited for the showdown that like I don't even have words to describe what I think could happen this weekend, because it's such a crapshoot. Like, my predictions would probably end up so off because of how crazy this whole week and weekend is going to be for the 250 class. So I don't even have a prediction because I don't know. It's all about who gets a good start, who's feeling comfortable. These West guys had to travel across the country basically to be here, although most of them live in Florida anyway, so that's not a problem. But yeah, I don't even have a reasonable answer for the 250 class this weekend. I'm just excited to watch it, so I hope you guys get excited for it, because it's, in my opinion, going to be probably the best race of the year. We'll hold reservations on whether that's going to be true or not, but I really think it could be. So, but yeah, this is going to be Indy this weekend. Download the track in the description below, and turn a road on if you want. -- a road space and then a number in your target line, just like you would for hidden HUD or accurate skip. I've showed you target line before. I did a tutorial in it. So yeah, go ahead, download it, try it out. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, of course, and then I'll see you guys a little bit later tonight, because MX vs ATV All Out is going to be coming out, and I'll be banging out tons of videos for you guys. So sit tight and hope to see you guys then. But thanks for watching another video on the channel, and I'll see you guys later. I'm out.